In lieu of a float, in lieu of a float. It's not going to put, shoot, I just do those things. This next application came to the town from DEM. And it's the wetland alteration up on Gondola Street, which is up on the north end of the island.
They had some directions wetland.
Right, it's definitely.
Flooding, probably not a really tough, one
Right,
bunch of
and I-
driveways totally ripped out.
I have somewhere, Justin gave me a series of aerial photographs. And I can't find them. Let me do this. Here's the plan. Well, what I would suggest you do on this is, most people have very strong opinions right off the bat. So let me show you where this is. Gondola's up on the north end of the island. It's, oh, here they are. On the top, right where they were supposed to be. This is from the GIS. These are the wetland delineations on the property. Gondola Street is here. Okay. In the past, we've had issues with this lot.
266?
Right, and I almost think we've had issues with this, and there have been a couple others that we've actually worked with and objected to the alteration. Now, I need to find.
The falling down barn on it?
No, this is, Gondola is way down, if you go down Sloop Street, you know where Sloop Street
Yeah, I
is?
know where it is, but it kind of it jogs over,
Does this way?
does it
Yeah, it's-
little,
No, it's not, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Gondola extends from there down to that windy one, right.
And
That's the other
this is
side of
not on the
Gondola. No,
windy
this is
side.
the other side of Gondola. Right, you're talking about the side in Nashville Farm, which is
yeah.
where the big houses are on the windy roads.
Yep.
Okay, let me just read you what this says.
So what lot is this then? I'm sorry.
This is
260.
the lot, the one
Okay, I got
that's been outlined in red.
I got it.
Let me just read it. It's Jack P. Phelan, he's in Kensington, Connecticut. Permission to alter freshwater wetlands in the town of Jamestown. AP3, lot 269. The freshwater wetlands affected by the proposed project will include the area of land within 50 feet of the edge of the swamp, perimeter wetland, and the area of land within 100 feet of the edge of the flowing body of water having a width of less than 10 feet. So this is where it would applies to these alterations under the state law. Purpose of the proposed alteration is for construction of single-family residence on-site wastewater treatment system and a private well. The proposed alteration to freshwater wetlands will consist of vegetative clearing, excavating, filling, grading, soil disturbance, landscaping, house construction, and well installation. The project as proposed will result in the alteration and/or disturbance of at least 5,349 square feet of, or 0.12 acres of freshwater wetlands. Okay, we have until July 2nd, although this was not sent to the right address. It was sent to the right address, but it wasn't sent to the right person, so we just got it today. We didn't just get this thing today, we just got the plans. They were sent to the wrong person. Have to July 2nd. What I would suggest that we do is that we set up a site visit. Okay, this is one, right now it's at freshwater wetlands. If the town objects to this, and I have a sneaking suspicion that the planning board is waiting for our recommendation to them, they don't deal with it directly because it's not a high water ordinance. It's under the wetland, and it's under the 308. It will come under the 308. 308 is the variance. Right now we have an ordinance that says ISDS has to be 150 feet away from the wetland. So this obviously is not going to fall into that. So they asked us to take a look at it. And we have a history on these lots already that we could pull out of the files, but they have to find them out.
Yeah, that's fairly important. These houses obviously,
You can see where these houses were built.
yeah.
These houses, we filed objections for some of these houses. And we also had some of the houses modify the plans from 3-bedroom to 2, if there was a compromise. But we didn't have this wetland map at the time. What we used at the time was the existing wetland delineation, which is one that Frank Villett's class used. So it may have been a little different than this. Okay?
And of course, there is no control in terms of the percentage of a lot that needs to be usable land, as opposed to wetlands or
No,
this or that.
no.
Of course, there isn't.
The only thing we have is.
It's just the number, it's just the acre, it's just the square feet.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
It doesn't
Well,
matter.
there's a square footage requirement for the lot to be built on, and then there's
Yeah,
setbacks.
and then there are obviously other,
Setbacks, right.
setbacks.
But within the town ordinance under 308 requests that all, or requires that all ISDS be 150 feet away from the edge of a wetland. This is obviously not gonna make it at all. And with the DEM, they require not only the wetland be protected, but also a perimeter wetland, which is 50 feet from the edge of the wetland. And this project will impact both the perimeter wetland, probably the wetland indirectly, if not directly through any kind of alteration of the project. So,
And is this green showing the wetland?
the green is the wetland.
The wetland itself.
As it is mapped under GIS now, that edge can be, would have to be verified. I know that, Carol, I was gonna check with Jack too, whether this was one of the lots that the Water Resource Protection Committee had looked at. It may be.
I can't remember.
We don't,
Is
short
that
of
a
doing
possibility?
anything, it's very
For
likely.
the town to buy the lot?
Well, no, the issue is it may be in one of the inventories of lots that we put together, lots that we should look at for protection because of this wetland. Now, this wetland runs, I wish I had the larger map, this wetland runs all the way, it runs south of this and it runs north of this. So what you see here is just what is shown in the green, the actual drainage area.
Can it get underneath this road?
Oh yeah, it's under the road, there's a culvert under the road, on this road here. So, it's something that we should probably go out and do a site visit on. Something we should do a site visit on before the July date, because if we don't deal with it here, and we let this pass, we're gonna have to deal with it under 308. And I think to be prudent, we should deal with it here right away. And then when 308 comes back, we'll
It's not
have.
fair to the applicant.
Right, it's not fair to the applicant to sit back and not do anything, because we did get this notice. This notice came to the town on the 18th of May.
So the entire house is within the 50-foot perimeter?
Right, the entire house. In the past, and what I would do is I will pull out,
And the septic system?
and the septic system is all within the 50-foot perimeter
Everything
wetland.
outside the 50-foot perimeter wetland is the same filter?
Right, right. These are the kinds of lots and the kinds of proposals that actually prompted. Right, I mean, we could deal with it right now and just say we have a real issue with this and we should write a letter of objection. Or we can do a site visit, I can pull out the files on the other lots that we've already looked at and already filed letters of objection to, and use those as sort of a track record for this area. That the town has consistently, I think in this area, had problems with development of those lots.
Just from looking at this, without being familiar
Right.
with that property itself, the entire development is planned for within the 50-foot perimeter wetland,
Right, and it's a 3-bedroom house,
and it's a 3-bedroom house.
which it
The
does.
septic system is within the 50-foot wetland. All of the impervious surface is within the 50-foot perimeter.
I mean, we can,
I don't know what else they could possibly do. It doesn't look like they can do anything else, but.
And the only option would be if we went out there and found that it's not a wetland.
well, the wetland has
Yeah,
been,
that.
this
Well,
has
this
been
is all
delineated, this is all delineated by
This is
Cato.
flagged by.
It's flagged by their wetland biology.
This is more or less,
This is pretty much, they're fairly
is
close.
for just working purposes.
This is
You know,
what we got from the area.
We've spoke of this often, and, you know, it's somewhat troubling, and, you know, I remember right from the beginning that I felt that, you know, the powers that be, and what is it, the planning commission, is in the business of granting variances, and we talked about the collective,
Zoning board.
zoning board, the collective effect of this, but at the same time, you know, what about this person, and what about this person, and what about this person? I guess I would feel funny, I mean, when do you start drawing the line, and you know, how, and you know, are there not some legal issues in terms of just the precedent? I mean, all these people presumably had to get variances and were granted variances.
Okay, let me just
I'm
stop.
sorry,
Just stop you, that when these came in, these other houses, these go back quite a ways.
quite a ways.
Some of these houses predate the 308 ordinance, which is the part of the reason why the town put that
Okay.
ordinance into effect was for areas like this. So some of these probably predate that, and the Conservation Commission, and I think the town in some cases, is on record objecting to some of these things. Okay? The problem is when it goes to DEM, depending on the parameters that they have to use to make their decision on, they may not be able to object to it if the applicant does X, Y, and Z.
Okay,
Okay, so that I don't know without going and looking at the files. But what you can see is the wetland becomes closer and closer to gondola as you get further and further north. And the lots get smaller and smaller, so the impact is, you know, obviously greater the further upstream you go. And the downstream impact, because of what you do upstream.